Hi, I'm Julie Hunt. I was born into a Christian family. My mum and dad loved the Lord, and Dad was a Methodist minister, and that growing up in that environment, being a minister's kid, had a great influence on me over my life. I came to faith when I was 9. There was nothing drastic or traumatic about it. It was a slow realisation that I wanted to own my own faith and not my parents'. When I was 18, I was married, and over the next few years, Rick and I started our family. So I was wife and mum. I had to learn a lot about being a wife and a mother, and I grew up a lot during that time. Rick and I always thought that we would end up in pastoral ministry, but it would be Rick who was the pastor, and I would fit into the very admirable role of pastor's wife. Over the years, though, more and more opportunities opened up for me to explore my pastoral leadership gifts. And in 2006, Julian Dunham, who was the senior pastor at Lilydale Baptist Church, invited me to take on the newly formed role of community ministries pastor. I wasn't sure about this because it involved looking after an op shop, and for me, I thought op shops were run by old people and they were smelly, the op shop, not the people. And so it took a little while, but after a lot of prayer and discussion with Rick, I decided to take on that role. Matt Glover was another senior pastor at Lilydale Baptist Church, and he asked me if I had ever considered being ordained. I hadn't, and I waved him off about it, but he was persistent, and so I wondered whether God was in that question, and prayed and talked again about that. I applied for ordination and was accepted. One of the concerns I had about being ordained was I would have to go to uni and get a degree. And that was a challenge for me, being in my late 40s and leaving school at the start of year 11. But can I tell you, I've loved Whitley. I've loved the learning experience. I've learnt more about myself, about God, about the church, and about Scripture. And I've made some lifelong friends through members of the faculty and through other students. Part of ordination is being supervised, and I've been very blessed to have 3 wonderful supervisors who have walked with me along the ministry journey and who have continually encouraged me to find God in different ministry situations. 3 years ago, Grant Stewart, who is the senior pastor of East Doncaster Baptist Church, invited me to take on the newly formed role of Associate Pastor for Community Ministries, which I did, and I'm still at that church. I had no idea that my life would end up in this direction, but I thank God for it, and I thank God for family journeying with me. I thank God for the joys and the challenges that ministry brings, and I thank God for God's continuing presence with me through all this time.